Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chapple Show, and today we are talking about things that I wish I knew when I graduated high school. So anyways, let's just jump right into it here. So number one, be aware that your path will change. Change of path. This happens with the vast majority of people. If you're 18 years old and you think that you know what you want to do with your life, or even if you think you don't want to know, your path is going to change. Think about it like this way. So probably about 40 to 50%, just at my university alone that I went to, 40 to 50% of people changed their programs or dropped out. So either they were going to do biology and they were going to go become a biochemist, right? Then they switched into whatever, liberal arts or something like that, or business or some other program. That's going to happen a lot. And so I'll give you my example, what I learned. So that's just a really vague example. My specific example. So I went to school. I thought I was going to be a doctor. I went for honors health sciences, the second best, doctor producing program in the province, in the state, one of the top programs you can go into if you want to be a doctor. And so I was going to be a doctor. I was going to be like, I'm content with this 200 and whatever grand a year job potentially. I'm going to go be some pediatrician or something for the rest of my life. And then about a year or two when I started realizing, I don't want this. I'd always known in the back of my mind I wanted to be some sort of CEO, some sort of entrepreneur, some sort of investor, but I didn't fully commit to it. I didn't fully know up until probably second year of university, and then it kind of clicked in my brain like, oh, wait a second here. I don't have to become a doctor. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. And odds are your path will change once you get to university. I actually wrote an essay on this, that even when you graduate university, even after you graduate high school and you think you know what you want to be, odds are two things. One, when you get to, let's say you graduate high school, you want to be some sort of, corporate whatever, CEO or something. Maybe you do become a CEO and make 150 grand a year and you're 22 years old. Odds are when you get that position, you'll realize that, oh, it's not all it's cracked up to be. And so what's going to happen from that? Whether it's you want to be a doctor or dentist, sometimes you want to be some sort of construction worker, contractor, landscaper, whatever you want to be, you're going to realize that it's not as cracked up as you want it to be. It's not as great as you want it to be. And so what's going to happen? You're going to make a change. You're going to change your path. And that's what I wrote an essay on, which I got my professor's like, oh, you know what you're talking about now. You're ahead of everyone else in the class in terms of self-awareness, I guess. And so my essay was supposed to be about what do I want to do with my life? And what are your 3 career paths in the medical field? Because all of my peers were going to become doctors, nurses, dentists, pediatricians. And so this was in third year. I had already committed to being an entrepreneur full on. And I was like, okay, look, option number 1, entrepreneur. Option number 2, I don't know. There's no option number 2, option number 3. Here's what I do know. I'm not going to end up in the medical field. And the other thing I know is that everyone else in my program is going to write how they want to be a doctor. Not everyone's going to be able to be a doctor. And even the people that become doctors, they're going to become 30, 35 years old, 40 years old and realize like, oh, this is all life is. This is what I worked for my entire life. I don't want to be a doctor anymore. You're going to have some sort of change in your path at some point in your life. Straight out of high school, well, usually within 2, 3, 4 years after high school is when it kicks in. Sometimes it takes about 5, 6 years or so, and sometimes people don't figure it out till they're 30. But that's something that I wish I knew in high school. You're probably going to have a change of path. Number 2, don't be afraid to leave the past behind. This is something that it's kind of hard to explain for me because I was ready to leave my past behind in high school. I mean, when you go from high school graduate to either working, to college, to military, whatever you want to do, it's your chance to restart your entire life. You built up a 4-year reputation in high school, whether you're a preppy kid, valedictorian, you're a nerd, you're a quiet kid, you like to sit in the corner, you're a jock, whatever you are, or maybe you're a hybrid like I was of a bunch of things, you get to restart your life. You don't have the same friends. You don't have the same clique. You don't have the same reputation. You get to start from zero. When you graduate, you start from zero. Don't be afraid to leave your past behind. And here's the other thing too, is that, odds are odds are you and your high school, this is actually one that I'm going to get to later on. So odds are your high school friends, you're not going to hang out with them in the future. After 2-3 years, you're going to forget about them. You're going to keep a core group of like 2 or 3 of them potentially. Most of them you'll probably never see again for the most part. And so number 2 is just leave your past behind. You don't be afraid to leave your past behind. Get a new start on life. That's something that I wish I knew in high school. I thought that I had to carry behind all my high school friends were asking me to hang out all the time. Hey, why don't you hang out? Why don't you come back to Oakville and hang out with us all the time? Why don't you come to this party? I mean, think about it. They were having parties, like high school parties, second year of university. They were still trying to party all the time with the old gang. They weren't ready to move on, yet I was. And so don't be afraid to leave your past. But I'm not saying ditch your friends. I'm not saying ditch your whatever. I'm saying that it's your chance to restart. If you want to be known as that confident person in first year university, but you have been a nerd through your entire high school life, you have that possibility now. You want to be a confident person at your new job, you can do that now. You want to build up a new reputation, you can. It's your chance to restart your life after you graduate. So that's what I want to say here. Now, it's never too late to restart your life, period, even if you're in high school, but that's something that I wish I knew, is that don't be afraid to leave your past behind and don't be afraid to restart your life, because I was. It took me about a year or 2 to do that. So we're going to move on here. Number 3. Oh, yes. So about 50% of you are going to hate me, and I'm very sorry. So as you guys know, like on most things, I'm fairly centrist. I would say in general, I probably lean a little bit conservative just because business is really tied into my life and the economy is tied into my life. I like lower taxes and things like that. And so I lean slightly conservative on a lot of issues, but I'm really liberal on some other stuff. But when you go into any sort of university, if you go after high school, if you go to university, you are walking into an echo chamber. And I swear, you aren't even going to know it when you walk in there. It's going to take about a year or 2, and then you're going to be half brainwashed. I swear, it's going to happen to you, because here's what happens. You go to all these classes, you go to all these young people, they want change in the world. They're going to advocate all these, groups in school, and they're advertise all these microaggression stuff and all these protest groups and protesting all the rich people are bad and everyone should be taxed at 70%. You're going to be walking into that at university. And just know that it's going to happen. I really hope it doesn't change your views of or maybe I hope it does. It depends on what you like. I'm just warning you. You're walking into essentially, I don't want to say socialist because it might not be that far. Depends on the university. But it's very, very, very heavily left. And you might, if you are conservative, you might not have a voice and you might get essentially shut out in certain talks. Like there were certain times, economic and tax talks, like I couldn't talk. It was like 99 people in the class and then me on certain issues. So what I'm trying to say here is that there's an echo chamber. And I just want you guys to be aware, if you are a conservative, unless you're going into a business program, just be aware that it's happening. And you may have to put up with that for 4 years. So we're going to move on here to number 4, is that the freshman 15. This is not, okay, so what I want to just touch on quickly, this is a life thing. That's not a myth. It's not a myth. This happened to, anecdotally, in terms of my guy roommates, it happened to 4 out of the 5 of us. Freshman 15. I put on the freshman 25 in my first year. And then I eventually, got a 6-pack right after that. So I lost like 45, 50 pounds after that. So that was all good. But it's real. It's going to happen to you. That's okay. It's just a heads up. Just make sure that you still keep exercising. Don't get too lazy. Don't party too much. And just be aware that you are going to put on some weight. And make sure that you have the habits in place so that you can get over that in second year, third year, fourth year, and after you graduate, if you go to university. Okay, so we're going to move on to number 5 here. Number 5 is, let's see how I put this. Wasted money, I guess. So this is going to tie into number 6 here, but what I want to say here is that going to university, a lot of you are going to be pressured by your parents to go in because that's the safe route. Safe route to a secure, stable job. And just know that you have my support, that it's not for everyone. It's still worth it in a lot of scenarios. I always say that in a lot of scenarios, probably maybe half, maybe less than half, maybe more than half. I don't know. I don't know the exact numbers, but it can be a big waste of money like it was for me. Now for me, I tell my story. I was fortunate / not fortunate. The only reason why I didn't, I wouldn't have gone to school if I had to take out a student loan. If I had to take out a big student loan, I wouldn't have had to do that. And so my grandma, unfortunately, she passed away right before going to university. And so that paid for university. Now, Canada, it's subsidized, so each semester it was like $7,000, plus living expenses, which I paid for, but tuition was like $7,000 a semester, so that came out to, let's see, $14,000 a year times 4. So we're talking like, what, 50 to 60 grand there. And so I ended up spending 60 grand on something that I didn't use. It taught me I don't regret going to school, but I do somewhat regret using that money to go to school. I could have used that money now for man, if I had 60 grand to market, that would be so great right now. But, so just know that it can be a waste of money, and I seriously, just think about it. If you're going to university or college, think about it. Think about if you're going to waste it, if you're going to waste the money and just use some lame-ass degree that's not going to get you a job, or are you going to go for engineering and get a job as an engineer at BlackBerry? I guess bad example, at Apple. Or Google, right? All right, we're gonna move on here, number 6. So money slips. This is the next one, money slips. This is big. This is big for all university people. So a big way that money slips away from you and you become a poor university student is, it wasn't for me, but for a lot of people, it's alcohol. Alcohol, partying, eating out. Big things. And so that adds up. I remember, I'm gonna tell you a story. So I was 18. I was 18 when I went to university, I think, 18 or 19 years old, my first year. And in that first year, I was making good money, corporate job. I was doing okay. So I could afford to, have a lot more expenditures than the average university student. But there was like a span of, I think, 2 months where I think I ate like $1.5 to $2,000 in takeout food. So $1,000 a month, that was like $30 a day, because all I was eating was takeout food. And I was a big boy though, like I was 225 pounds, so a little bit more understandable. But what I'm trying to say here is that money slips away. It can slip away from you. So a lot of the times it's alcohol, takeout food, whatever. And I want you guys to realize that. Just be wary. Live on ramen noodles. Do that. Live on ramen noodles and, what does Danny Ramsey say? Live on the beans and rice. That was a terrible, that wasn't even an attempt at an accent there. That was just terrible. Live on beans and rice. Just make sure that you are up to date with your finances and that you don't blow your stuff on alcohol and parties. Because just know that, like all those parties and stuff, they're great experiences, but you don't got to spend $100 on it on a night. $100 a weekend. So just be wary of your money here. We're going to move on to number 7. Oh yeah, the turkey dump. So this is, the moral of this is just odds are, if you are dating someone, just started dating someone in first year university, or you're with your high school sweetheart and you try to date throughout university or after graduation, unless you're living together or unless you're very close to each other, even if you are, odds are you're going to break up. This is just statistically speaking, there's I think it's like 90 to 95% chance that people who meet in high school don't last, and people who meet in first year university don't last within a couple of years. So just know that that's probably, just prepare for some sort of heartbreak. Okay? Prepare for some sort of breakup. I hope that it pans out for you guys. I hope that you guys have found your true love and you're all good, but just prepare for it. I mean, everyone's so lovey-dovey, but there's complicated situations that comes up. Distance hurts. University hurts. You meet new people that might be better for you, might be better for your significant other. You might get hurt. And so just prepare for that. So why do I say turkey dump? It's because usually the first Thanksgiving, so usually the first 2 months after university starts, is when high school couples done. It's when everyone comes home to their hometowns for a weekend and they break up because they can't do long distance. They meet someone else at a party. They're like, oh, I click with this person. Let's move on. And so that's a big thing that I wish I knew. So I didn't get turkey dumped. I got dumped, between I think the summer of third year of university when I was sick and in the hospital. So that was a shitty move. But just know that it's going to happen. It's very, very, very rarely works out. So we're going to move on here to number 8. So we talked about this one already, which is high school friends, HS friends. Odds are you're going to, if you have 10 high school friends, you might keep 2 of them, might keep 1 of them. I mean, I keep probably about 3, I think 3 of them, roughly 3 high school friends, maybe 2. It just doesn't work out. It just doesn't work out, guys. You guys move on. You move on to different things. You like different things. You live in different cities. You want to go do other things with your life. It happens. You're going to meet new people, and just be prepared for it. It's going to happen, and it's okay when it happens. People always get sad, like, I don't want to lose this high school friends, but meanwhile, you're putting in 4 hours of effort to see every single week, to see them for 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever, and it's not worth it. It's not worth the time. It might be for some times, but it's not worth it in a lot of the cases. And so just be prepared for that. You're going to lose a lot of your high school friends, and a lot of people are like, oh no, we're going to be BFFs forever. Even the people that you meet in first year university, your roommates, your bros that you meet in first year, your bros or whatever girlfriends call each other, I guess girlfriends, whatever. All the people that you meet in your first 2 weeks and in your orientation, you're probably not going to be friends with them come second, third, fourth year. Maybe one of them, but that's about it. So be prepared to lose your friends. That's happy. We're going to move on here to number 9. Let's see here. Oh yeah, the 4 years. So whether you go to university, whether you go to work, whether you go to, military, whether you go to, I don't know, sitting on your parents' couch for 4 years, just know that the next 4 years are essentially what separates successful people that aren't successful. A lot of the times, actually I shouldn't say that, because you can still be successful. It can really put you ahead if you put your mind to work for those 4 years following university. Because think about it, following high school. Think about it. All your friends, most of your friends, are going to be going to university, college, going to parties, drinking their faces off 2 nights a week, probably getting behind on their work, maybe dropping out. And if you were actually to work, to either build a business, to go to school, work for someone else, save up money, invest, whatever you want to do, I can guarantee you're getting ahead of 80 to 90% of the people your age. That is the time to get ahead. Those 4 years following that time you graduate is the time to put your head down and just work. Even if it's something even if you don't know what you want to do with your life, just work. Just do something. And you can get ahead, and don't blow your time. Have fun. I don't want to say don't have fun. Because have fun, occasionally meet up with friends, whatever, but it's the time to put your head down and work really hard. We're going to move on here to number 9, I guess we're on number 9. So the last one here I want to mention. Oh yeah, so this is a clear path. So this is same to number 1 here. And number 9 is that this is the time to find out what you want to do with your life. Those 4 years, even if you go to school and university and then you figure out what you want to do with your life, it's really important. Just find your path, whatever it is. Whatever your path is. I mean, if you want to become a bodybuilder, then start working out every day. If you want to become personal trainer, similar. If you want to become a personal trainer, do that. Do courses. You want to become a real estate agent, start doing stuff towards that. I mean, try new things. Even if you don't know what you want to do, just try something and go full on into it. You want to be a doctor? Go on full into health sciences like I did. And then maybe you figure out it's not for you and you change your path, just like in number 1. But do something and try something new until you figure out what you wanted to do. I mean, I didn't know that I wanted to, make YouTube videos and do consulting and speaking and sell stuff online and all that stuff until I tried it. And then I found out it was fun. I literally decided, here's how I made a YouTube channel. This was years ago, 5 years ago when I wanted to make money from YouTube, 4 years ago, 3 years, I don't know. I was literally in a piece of pizza because I was really fat. And, and I was like, you know what? I think I should just make YouTube videos. I've been watching these science videos for so long. Why don't I just make my own? Let's try and make some money from it. Literally that night, I built a makeshift green screen and I tried making YouTube videos. 4 years later, 3 years later, that's the reason why I'm talking to you guys today. So just try something new. Anyways, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. That's going to wrap this video up. If you like this, you're going to like the Wealth Accelerator, so check that out in the link below. Anyways, you are very beautiful people, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, hit the camera.